Here. We're going to talk about brands today. We're going to talk about brands and businesses and how they suck sometime. There's a lot that we need to talk about here today. I'm going to tell you that. Let's see. Well, I think I'm set up over here. Got you guys over here on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, go ahead and make sure you're following me on YouTube. Um, I got a little feisty last night and decided to set up an entire series. I just had a lot on my mind. I had a lot to say. So I want to talk about, brand sucking. And I love me a little double entendre, good double entendre, play on words. I love me some puns. So when I talk about does your brand suck, I'm not necessarily telling you that it's like a bad brand or it's crappy. We're going to talk about how your brand is sucking your time, your energy, your life. Am I giving tips and tricks on business? Yeah, I always give tips and tricks. Stick around. I give a lot of good information all the time. I'll tell you, definitely will be worth your time. I dropped a lot of gems yesterday. We were on here for almost a good 2 hours. Almost a good 2 hours. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. One thing about these videos, technically they're all classes that I'm teaching for my courses, but I've learned that I work and operate so much better when I have a live audience. So I just decided I'm going to start recording what I need with you guys here live. You guys on Instagram, I'm right here on YouTube. Make sure you follow me on YouTube. I'm slowly going to stop going on Instagram. So make sure you go follow me on YouTube, set your notifications, join the collective. I'm going to start putting the entire schedule inside the collective. So you guys will be able to access it. So you don't have to be upset about that. Okay. So yeah. So there we go. Here's what we do. Do I have that set right? Yes, make sure you're subscribed too, because I did set it in YouTube that you can only comment if you're subscribed, because I need to make sure you guys are here, you see the things. Like I was saying, I need to get these videos and these courses recorded, but the only way for me to seem to do that, my executive functioning skills does not seem to operate when I just set up a camera. So not only are you going to get me teaching the course, but you're also going to hear all the cuts, the edits, and all the things that I'm telling my editor to do with the video as well. So today we're going to start this first of the series every day this week around 11 a.m. 11 a.m. I am going to be teaching some sort of class. It's all part of the series. It's about finding ways to make your brand not suck your time, not suck your energy, not suck your money, not suck your happiness, because a business will do all of that if you let it. I am speaking from experience on so many levels, and I want to share that with you today. So today we're going to unpack why a sucky brand could be your biggest problem and and uncover a lot of ways that you can fix this, and also how it's costing you success. Right? How it's costing you success. During this presentation or class or whatever you want to call it, I am going to hold off on questions. I will answer the questions towards the end. So please hold off. If somebody jumps in and they're asking questions, if somebody could kindly remind them, I'm not answering questions because I want to get through the course. There will be some questions for you to answer later on. It's a little bit interactive because I need you to dig deep into yourself, figure out what's going on. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jasmine Elon, founder of Black Sunflower. Started off as a candle company. Now we are so much more. My goal is to not only help you thrive and survive in your business, but also help you figure out ways to make your business work for you and not against you. I know how this works. I would like to call I was my business's bitch. At one point in time, I did everything and anything for Black Sunflower, but I knew that in order for me to continue on, I can't make that happen. So I have helped, I'm going to say thousands of businesses, directly hundreds, indirectly thousands. And according to some of my videos, millions of people do better and find ways to operate more efficiently and within a place of comfort within their business. So how do you build a brand that actually gives back to you and actually gives you what you want out of it? So over the years, I have learned firsthand that a brand sucking your energy, your time, your money, your happiness, also fails to attract customers. It exhausts you. It exhausts you because the energy that you're putting out there trying to get your business to do these things, right? That energy of angst, that energy of stress, that energy of need. People can sense that. People can sense when you're needy and you want something. You don't want that. So how do we take our power back? And today I'm going to teach you what it means to how to spot the things that are draining you within your business, within your brand, okay? And what steps that you can take to build and restore your time back, get your energy back, keep more money in your pockets, right? As well as be more happy, be more happy, okay? Plus, I'm going to give you some real life examples of people that I've worked with, or one particular person that I've worked with who completely transformed their business by doing these things. I've shared my story with you. If you were on the live yesterday, if after this you missed it, go ahead and check it out. I was talking about some things that I've learned within Black Sunflower, as well as some things that I'm doing to fix it and big lessons that I've learned. All right. So when I say Sucky brand, going back, you guys are listening. What am I talking about? I'm not saying that your business is a bad business. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying the things that you're doing in your business can be making your business sucky. One, your time, because you're constantly needing to clarify your message. You're constantly confusing people with what you're trying to put out there, right? Or you don't have enough time in your day, especially if you're working a 9 to 5, you have a family, you have kids, you also have yourself, right? And if your business is taking away too much time from the other things that you need to put together or have in place in your life, it can create a huge suck. That goes into the energy part of it. All right. If your business and your branding, we're going to put business and branding together, right? If your business and your branding, your marketing, right, is not on point, it's going to drain your energy. Why? Because you're exhausted, because you're continuously, like I said before, trying to clarify, trying to get your message out there. And a lot of times your energy is drained because you don't even know what you're trying to do. You don't know who you're trying to reach. You don't know what problem you're actually solving for your audience. If you are somebody who decided, you know what, I want to start a business because it looks cool, and according to social media, everyone's doing it, and it seems pretty easy enough, right? If she could do it, I could do it, which to an extent works, right? But not so much, especially when you're spending so much of your energy and that little time that you have trying to put these things together. Another reason your brand might suck, when it's sucking your money. We live in a capitalistic society. Oh, my plant just jumped. I watered my plant, it just jumped. We live in a capitalistic society where, even as a business owner, you fall victim to that. We feel that I need to buy the next best thing in order for my business to work. I need to get these amazing boxes for my business to work. I need to get these beautiful labels. I need this beautiful packaging. Everything needs to be branded on point from the beginning, right? And next thing you know, you are a couple $1,000s in the hole and you have not made one sale. Are you letting your business suck you dry? Because we have to get out of our heads that you do not have to have everything perfect, beautiful, in line. All of these big businesses that you see, they started off small. They started off with the bare basics. When I started shipping out my candles, not even talking about shipping out my candles. Let's just talk the candles as a whole. I don't have one sitting here right now. I think it's downstairs. But my candles look nothing like they used to look. But that allowed me to actually get to the space I'm at. I accepted where I was at in that moment, and I did the best that I can do in that moment with what I had, instead of spending all this money on unnecessary things. And from experience, when the money started rolling in and I said, "Ooh, I have extra money. Let me spend more money on the things," it was a mistake. It was a mistake. And I've told this story before, and I'll tell one quick one. There was a point in time where I was spending at least, thank you guys. I was spending at least $10,000 a month on supplies. If I could go back and do it again, here's how I would have broken up. Most of those were on jars. I had pallets of jars come. I had pallets of wax. I had, those big containers, the big containers, not the 5 gallons or the 7 gallons, the big containers of fragrance, boxes and boxes of wicks, lids, and everything else you can imagine. I purchased labels by the thousands, by the thousands. I still have a lot of those labels right now. Even though I closed, I still have a lot of those labels left. Okay. If I could go back and do it again, I would have spent my money away that would allow it not to drain or suck so much of my money. And I would have spent it elsewhere that allowed me to get my time and my money back. What are some of those things you may ask? Is if I'm spending 10,000 total, even if I would have spent 2 to 3,000 on supplies, and maybe I spent another 2,000 on a salary to have somebody else come in and do the work. And maybe if I spent another 2,000 on marketing, I still would have saved money and I would have went so much further. But instead my head was in the wrong place, right? So when I'm telling you these things, I'm not telling you because I read it on Google or Chat GPT'd it. I've lived these things and I'm sharing these things with you so you don't go through the same thing. Hey, you don't go through the same thing. And the last thing, because I allowed my business to suck my time, I allowed my business to suck my energy, I allowed my business to suck my happiness, my money, in turn, it sucked my happiness. Because all of the things that I started a business for, I started a business. And if you guys are like me, give me some thumbs ups, some hearts. Are you starting your business because you want more time? Are you starting your business because you don't have enough energy for that 9 to 5? And you want to find more energy in your life? You're starting that business because you want more money, right? If this is you, let me know. This is you. But what's happening now is you're losing your happiness because you're getting lost. You're allowing your business to suck all those things. All right. So I want you to think about it. A lot of that stems from not having a consistent brand. And by not having a consistent brand, that's not knowing who you really are as a business, what you're selling, what problem you're solving. What's your brand identity? It's unclear, it's inconsistent. Who is your true audience? And what type of business do you really want to be? Even just a year ago, up until the beginning of this year, because I'm in a beta testing mode and I'm building something new, I feel I have a brand identity crisis every few weeks. Every few weeks. It's different when I'm in beta. It's very interesting. Okay. So how do we spot what's actually draining us? Because not at all time, not in a particular moment is everyone experiencing all these things at the same time. Sometimes they start to roll over into each other. Sometimes they all come at the same time. It depends. All right. So I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Right. Do your customers often seem confused about what you do or who you serve, what you're offering? Are you spending more time, um, how should I say, cleaning up? Um, how should I say? You're spending more time doing most of the explaining and if you're online answering questions, emails, and people are just confused all the time. People don't know what they're getting, or if they get their product, it's not what they expected. You're spending time fixing that. Um, Does your marketing feel more like, "Oh my gosh, I don't wanna do this," right? "I don't wanna do this. This is not what I enjoy." Are you frustrated because no matter how hard you work and how much money you put into it, the results just aren't showing? "I'm making the product. I'm posting on Instagram. I'm, talking to people in public. I'm giving out samples, doing all this stuff, but I don't see the results." Okay? And if you said yes, it's a clear not a clear, it's a good idea that your brand is what's draining you. Your branding's not on point. Are you doing all the things in your business? Let's talk about the hustle culture. Um, how when we start a business, for some reason, it is ingrained in our heads that in order for us to be successful in a business, we have to do all the things. We have to do all the things. And a lot of us are amazing at so many different things that we're like, I can just do it. And then even if you're not amazing at these things, you want it done your way. And nobody else can do it your way. And if they don't do it your way, it's wrong and it's just not going to work. Not going to work. This is where we're dead wrong. And I am so guilty of this. You know how many times someone like, "Oh, Jasmine, I'll help you," or I had so much contract work over time. I didn't hire people for the longest. All my work was contract work because I didn't want that commitment. And in that, I always felt, or a lot of times I felt, oh, it's just so much easier for me to do it and take the time, even if it's a day or two, to teach it. Let me just do it myself. But is that really the right thing? I built my website. I've done my bookkeeping. I've done my marketing. Now, the marketing, I love the marketing, the branding part, right? I did all of that. The product sourcing, research, all of that, doing it all. And you guys are doing it too. But you know, we don't have to. Do you realize a lot of the people who are teaching the hustle culture already have the help? They're telling you, just do all the things, do all the things. Um, no harm to him, but one of the ones that kind of get to me, I used to listen to him a lot, was Grant Cardone. And he would say yes to everything. If you have an opportunity, say yes. You never know what you're going to miss out on. And as I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna say yes, I'm gonna say yes, I'm gonna say yes. And I thought it was so cool that I'm doing all these things. At one point, I had a Garden by Black Sunflower. I had all my plants that I was selling. I was hosting events. I was doing huge bulk orders for apartment communities. I still had the retail side of my job. I was doing speaking engagement. I was doing so much. I was hosting events and parties. See, I had there some good parties. I was doing so much. And I thought it was a flex that I was doing all those things. Now, looking back, I'm embarrassed. I'm very embarrassed because it was not a flex. It was not a flex. I needed to find a way to outsource, delegate, and also understand that I don't need to do all of these things. Because in the end, it came to a point, I won't say in the end, it came to a point, I think it was November 2022, I think it was. I hit rock bottom, y'all. Hit rock bottom because I was allowing my business to suck me dry. My branding and stuff was on point. The business was doing well. So even if your branding and your marketing and all that stuff is on point, people understood what I was selling. People were buying what I was selling. I was still making the money. So this is a lesson. Even if you can get past that branding part and getting your brand in line, if you do not figure out how to delegate and outsource things from the beginning, there's only so far that you can go. Only so far that you can go. All right. Later on, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this now. Cut. This part is for my editor, Kenneth. We're gonna do a different transition, and we're going to go into the audit. So this audit will be available inside the collective. This entire course will be free inside the collective. And this one is kind of helping you identify what parts of your business are sucking you dry. All right. So you're going to score everything from 1 to 5. One is it's sucking the life out of you. It's a big drain. It really pulls you down and it's starting to hurt your business. Okay. And 5, it gives back. It's an area that you feel great. It's making your life easier. You can actually make it happen. All right. So the first one, we're going to talk about time, and feel free to respond in the comments. All right. 1 through 5. Okay. If 1 through 5, my brand clearly states what my business does, so I don't have to waste time explaining or fixing confusion. 1 through 5. One, you spend too much time trying to fix it. Or 5, no, people clearly understand what I'm selling. 1 through 5 in the chat. Let me know. 1 through 5 in the chat. If you're on YouTube, just go ahead and subscribe. I have it now in subscriber mode. So once you subscribe, after a minute, you'll be able to go into the chat. All right. We have a 5. Yes, people know exactly what you're offering. I love that. All right. So we're going to go to the second one. My customers understand my offer quickly without me needing to repeat for clarification. Do you need to clarify? If you find yourself clarifying a lot, that's a 1. If people just say, I want this, it's a 5. 1 through 5. 1 through 5, 1 through 5. Okay. The next one. My brand message saves me time because it's attracting the right people. What I mean by that are people coming to you and saying, oh, nope, that's too expensive. Don't want it. Huh, I can get that cheaper at Bath and Body Works. I can get that cheaper at Target. Right? Or people coming up and they're seeing your $36, $40 candle, whatever, and they're saying, give me 2. 5 is they're just buying it with no pushback. 1, meh. You kind of roll your eyes as they walk away, like, well, this isn't for you. All right. Next one, we're going to talk about energy. All right. Four. Okay. We're talking about energy. Four. All right. I love that. We're going to talk about connection and consistency. This rolls into the last question that we just asked. My brand connects well with my ideal customers and it feels authentic. Does your brand feel authentic to you? If your brand does not feel authentic to you, that's a one. Is it truly you? If you're like, nope, this is my baby. It's me and my brand, we're like this. It's a five. This was one that I've really struggled with for a long time. Um, my brand visuals and voice are consistent across platforms, so I don't have to rethink or redo them constantly. One, you're always like, let me redo this. Let me redo that. That's not quite it. I think my problem is just I love change, and that's not a good thing either because that's sucking a lot of time too. Okay. Five, if I go to your Instagram, if I go to your TikTok, if I go to your Facebook, it is the same message across the board. All right. Thank you for being honest. The one with five. Okay. Something to keep in mind. Make note of that. Here's a good one. Working on my business feels energizing rather than exhausting. When it's time to work on your business, are you like, oh, here we go again? Or you're like, yeah, let's go. One, if you're rolling your eyes, like, here we go again. Or five, if you're like, let's go. And be honest, for a very long time, it was a one for me. It was a one for a very long time. Five, awesome. Four. Okay. If you answered anything other than five, I want you to think in your head, or if you can, make a note as to why it's exhausting. Like try to pinpoint in your head why is it exhausting? Okay. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. Do you, on a scale of 1 to 5, trying to figure out how to, thank you for being honest, beauty factor. When it comes to marketing and spending your money and attracting the right customers, when you sit down and try to do your marketing on a scale of 1 to 5, is it draining the life out of you? Or like, I got this, I got it figured out? 1 through 5. So right now we're identifying where your strengths are. What are your strengths? 1 through 5. Okay. Three. Three. Perfect. And then can you, I'm just a little curious. What are some things that you are currently spending your marketing dollars on? What are some of the things that you're currently spending your marketing dollars on? And as you answer that, remember earlier I mentioned I was spending about $10,000 a month in supplies. And if I can go back, how I would split it up and I still would have had money to spare. Didn't need to spend all of that. I was not using my marketing dollars wisely because I was spending too much money. My branding was doing well at attracting people, that I took that for granted and felt that that would always be the case. And so instead of spending that money on marketing dollars to expand my reach even more, I was spending the money to keep up with the demand that I had now when I should have just spent what I needed and made the customer keep up with me. Should have made the customer keep up with me. Okay. Three. All right. Do you feel that your branding and marketing are directly impacting your sales and your growth? So when you post on social media, are you seeing results from that? When you are doing markets, are you seeing results from that? When you send out emails, are you seeing results from that? Scale of 1 through 5. Light ads, more organic with media mentions and interviews. Yes. Yes. That's really good. That's really good. Right, Carrie? She said a 1. So you're doing all this work, writing the emails, posting, all that stuff, and you're not seeing it's not positively impacting your sales and your growth. 3. Okay. 2. Thank you for being honest. Appreciate it. All right. And everyone else, I hope you're taking notes in your head and giving yourself some time to think about this. The next one, we're going to talk about the happiness part of it. All right. Are you proud about sharing your brand? Like when it's time to share and speak on your brand on a scale of 1 through 5. 1, like, oh, this is my little, I have a little candle business. Or 5, like, this is my business. Look this, you gonna buy it or not? No. On a scale of 1 through 5, are you happy with sharing your brand with others? You got a 5. Awesome. Absolutely 5. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Love that. All right. And this last one is going to be a truth bomb for a lot of us. Do you feel stressed or doubtful about your business's future? 1 is, yeah, I'm pretty damn stressed. 5 is, nah, I'm good. We're good over here. It's going to be great. I am fine. I got everything in place. 1 through 5. 1 through 5. Okay. Let me know. I would say in today 3.5, 3.5. And I would say this question will really vary based upon where you're at in your life and where you're at in your business. Give a 2. And take note of as to why. Okay. It's more so, I want you to spend more time thinking like, okay, why am I not confident about my brand's future? Because sometimes we'll sit there and we'll have the anxiety and the angst that, oh, something's not right, this isn't good, but we don't take the time to sit down and actually pinpoint where that's coming from. And that's really important. And that's what this exercise is about. So now I want you to kind of take note. If you didn't write it down, it's okay. I'll have this list, and there are more questions in it. It'll be inside the collective. I'll be posting that a little bit after this video, after this live. And you'll be able to actually go in there and check stuff off and take notes and things like that. Family life, 2 kids in college. Yeah, that's that's a big one there. All right. So then when you get this worksheet, it's going to ask you, what are the top 3 things that are draining you? Okay. What are the top 3 things that you're draining you? Some of the things I left out are, do you feel you have enough time, like the amount of time that you have to spend on your business? Do you have the right resources? Do you even know if you're offering the right thing? There are a couple other questions here that are left off because I don't want to make this video too long. But when you go in and actually do the worksheet, you'll be able to dig a little bit deeper into it. All right. Then what you're going to do is you're going to write down the top 3 things that are draining you in your business. And then we're going to create an action plan because I'm about taking action. And you're going to write down the areas that drain you. We're going to talk about things you can do to fix it. Is it something that you're doing on your own? Or is it something that you're delegating? And when are you going to actually start? We're going to only start with 3. We don't need to worry about everything. We want to start with the top 3 things. The things that are going to make you enjoy your business, enjoy working on your business, right? So when it comes to delegation, I mentioned yesterday, I went from just me doing all the things. I definitely had help from family, friends. My parents helped me out so much in the beginning. My dad was packing orders. My mom would help label and everything else. Let's drink some water. But overall, I did a lot of it, most of it. The branding, the marketing. We wear all the hats. We've all seen the TikTok ads where they're talking about, oh, look, I'm the bookkeeper, I'm the publicist, I'm the market. Like you're all these people. Well, I want us to start removing some of those hats. I want us to start removing some of those hats. One of the biggest problems that I've realized as I started my VA agency, my virtual assistant agency, was not the training of the virtual assistants. The problem was the clients. Most clients were my friends. They suck at delegating. I've cussed my friends out so many times because they made me so angry because I'll be on the phone with them and they're like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm like, busy for what? You have an executive assistant. Why are you that busy? Well, I have to prepare this, I have to do that. And a lot of times I get the question, what does a virtual assistant even do for you? And before I even get any further, so many people shut down because people feel, oh, I can't even afford that. I was at a restaurant one time and I was talking to this lady and she was talking about her business and how she was overwhelmed and she was just, oh, I don't know what to do next. And I was like, oh, how about you get a virtual assistant? Oh, I can't afford it. Okay, cool. And we do this a lot. And I'm going to use even AI as an example. There's a lot of people who don't even bother to try to learn AI, one, because they think it's too difficult, or all the other things that they hear from other people instead of trying it themselves. So, anybody in here, I want to know what are some things that you can think of offhand right now in your business that you could delegate? What are some of the things that you can delegate in your business right now that would make your life easier? I usually start with the things that I hate, that I don't like. There are things that I hated wicking candles. I think one of the first things that I ever delegated out was wicking candles. I would say, hey, here's 50 bucks. Here's a few cases. I don't care. Find a Netflix show and wick these. Make sure they're centered. I'll come and pick them up in a few days. The other thing I hated doing was breaking down boxes. I had so many boxes in my shop, wicking, right? I had so many boxes in my shop that they would just pile up in the corner. Definitely a fire hazard. And it got to the point there was a high school across the street. So one day a bunch of kids were walking by. It's like, hey, anybody want to make some extra money? They're like, yeah, of course. I was like, break these boxes down and go take them to the trash. I got some money for you. Next, they're coming. They're coming every day. Hey, you got any boxes for me to break down? You got any boxes for me to break down? Yes, matter of fact, I do. Matter of fact, you can sweep these floors too while you're at it. Yeah, matter of fact, you can wipe off these tables. And each day I'll just add a little bit more. Helping me count my inventory, checking and double checking what I have. That's a nice one right there. Hmm. Checking and double checking what you had. Hey, I thought that was you. Everyone say hello to Nakia. Nakia is the one who has been holding down the fort with Black Sunflower and the candles and make. We were just talking about having somebody else wick the candles and make the candles. She's been the one doing all of it. Posting on social media. Yes, that's a huge one. Posting on social media. Because let's be honest, we've become unpaid employees of social media. Then they're making us say, oh, well, in order for us to show your stuff, you got to post multiple times a day. I don't have time for this. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. All right. So we have wicking. I just gave you, if you haven't delegated out wicking, I told you exactly how to do it to start. You don't have to hire somebody full time to do that. Find somebody. No, it's okay. She knows what you meant. Find somebody, say, here you go. You don't have to hire these people on full time. You don't have to do it. All right. And the social media one is huge. Now, the question is it making the actual content for social media or is it actually getting the stuff posted? Because one of my biggest one was not only making and creating the content, it was posting it, it was replying to DMs, it was replying to comments. I'll be 100% honest. If you've ever left me a comment on the Black Sunflower page, there's a really good chance I never even responded. Because at one point in time, I did pay somebody to do all of that. But it was just too much at one point in time. It was just too much happening, and I needed those resources used elsewhere. Okay. So, some of the things that you can use, all right, for working in your business. One of the biggest things you can outsource is the research. The research. When you're trying to find what jars, what vessels, how much time that takes a lot of time when you're sitting there posting, editing, captions, hooks. Okay. Yeah. That's a big one there, especially if marketing's really not your thing. Like I love marketing. I love it to an extent. Sometimes it gets on my nerves because I'm doing all the other things, but I like to remove the other things so I can actually do the things that I enjoy. Right. So we said researching, finding where you're getting supplies, researching exactly how, oh no, no, even different events, pop-ups. How many times do you guys just sit on the phone for hours looking up events to market at, other ways to help push your business along? You know, if you have somebody who actually knows how to do those things, it takes less of time, a lot less time. We have email management. We have customer service follow up. We have even down to packing your orders. You guys, you don't have to hire somebody full time for that to pack your orders. Here you mentioned the inventory part of it. This also goes into utilizing the technology that we have on hand. We have AI, we have automation. And some of you may be thinking, I don't know how to do this, right? Right? You may not know how to do it, but what if you hired somebody to put something together for you so that it continued working? And now you don't have to hire. There's Inventora, but you have to put a lot of stuff into that. Depending on what pro or what platform you're using, some of them integrate. So when somebody buys something, it'll automatically update on its own. That's another one. Okay. The social media content, creating social media calendar, creating posts. Right now, my social media manager, she creates a lot of my scripts and stuff for me. We come up with the ideas, she makes my talking points for the videos. So she has a whole list of them. That's why we're doing it this way. She has so many videos for me to post, but I never posted it because I just have to go live. I like the interaction. I think I need to pull out the energy in order to actually get these things accomplished. Right? Writing blogs, articles, putting together website content, crafting your email marketing campaigns, your newsletters, creating banners, making scripts, downloading different resources. This may be off topic, but I have been making candles for friends and family, and I have the creative and making candles down, but I don't know how to get started. Where should I start first? Off topic, but not off topic. One thing I was going to offer everyone, and which I'm starting to do again, we have 15-minute sessions because every time I go live, somebody asks me a question like this. They just need to know the direction that they get started in. Okay. So between me and my team, we are offering 15-minute consultations. If you go into the collective, I have it's live now. It's the new business playbook. Under the very first course, there's a complimentary consultation. You click that and you'll get connected with me. I'll be honest, at this very moment, most of those appointments are with me right now. I'm waiting for the rest of my team to get their calendar together. So if you get in there early, you'll get your appointment with me. And what we'll do is actually figure out what you have going on, right? I'll send you a nice little form to fill out, figure out what you have going on and what steps you should take next. Because it's kind of hard for me just off the bat to say, hey, you should start here because I don't know where you're at in your business. And I feel that would do you a disservice. Yes, creating and schedule weekly emails, social media campaigns, searching trending hashtags, you're very welcome, searching trending topics, searching all sort of trends, even hashtag, what trends are going on. Listen, I hate me a trend. I hate trends, but do as I say, not as I do. Trends will get you someplace. Trends will get you someplace. Somebody that's going through your website, who's going through your website seeing, oh, this button doesn't work. These don't work. Maybe we should add this. I think somebody mentioned earlier, oh yeah, Dixon Candle and Bath. What's your name? I think I know who you are, but I apologize, you guys. There's so many people, and I'm trying to connect the business name with the person a lot. And sometimes I don't do a very good job of that. I have a memory of a ripe avocado sometime. Okay. You mentioned doing light ads. I don't do ads as much anymore. Main reason is because there are other ways. Sonia, nice to meet you, Sonia. I'm gonna try to remember it. I may ask you again. Please don't take it to heart. I'm gonna try. There are other ways. Search engine optimization is one of them. Google has free resources available to you to help you get found. Google Search Console. Make sure you have a Google My Business. Make sure you have a Google My Business, as well as Google Tags and Google Analytics. Make sure you have Google Analytics connected to your website. This lets you know the type of people who are coming to your website. Google Search Console will make it so that you can find out what people are searching to get to your website. And all this pulls together to make it so you can make better ads, Sonia. Because a lot of times right now, a lot of us are making ads just in the dark. We're pulling from the dark. Okay. Customer surveys, customer follow up, reaching out, um, responding to reviews. A lot of this stuff can be done by somebody, and a lot of it can also be automated. I have a course that is coming up that I'm teaching at the Amazon Web Services Skill Center, where I am going to, and I'm going to do a version of it online as well. I'm going to do a version online for you guys, um, where I'm teaching different AI tools that you can utilize within your business. Is Google Analytics attached to Big Cartel? You can. So Google Analytics, you go in and you put your information into Google, and it's going to have some code that you can put in. I think you can put the code into Big Cartel, but I'm not sure where that code would go, because usually you would put it inside. And it's a lot of places will tell you exactly where to put it. I'm not too sure with Big Cartel. I have not used them in a very long time. My heart's with Big Cartel because that's actually where I had my very first website. Um, so yeah, I think you could contact their customer support and ask them if that's something that you can implement into your website. Definitely. Definitely. But the class that I'm teaching, I'm going to have a couple of different AI tools that will help you automate certain things in your business, as well as get answers to things quicker in your business. So make sure you join the collective. Like I said, it's completely free. That's where I'll be announcing all of those classes and courses that I have coming up. So, like I said, that class is going to be in person here in the Seattle area, but I will do a version of it online as well, which is nice. All right. So I went down a whole list of things that you can do. There's more, it doesn't end. But basically, everything in your business that you're doing, somebody else can do as well. I mentioned earlier that, hey, what you're in the collective, awesome. And I mentioned yesterday as well. I apologize, it's been very quiet. There's been a lot going on. I went from just me to now we have a team of, was it 11, 12? I keep forgetting. The reason I'm gonna tell you why I don't ever know exactly how many people, because it's off. We're consistently hiring virtual assistants, and we're consistently training virtual assistants. And so that we can start offering virtual assistants out to people who need the help. And when I started I personally, how should I say, it? I didn't want a virtual assistant originally because I didn't want to go through the headache of looking for a virtual assistant. Who here has used Fiverr before? It could be hit or miss. I used Upwork, hit or miss. And I just didn't want to deal with it at all. I didn't want it. So I used a technical service, a free technical service. And the lady I was working with, she was like, Jasmine, you need an executive assistant. I was like, I know, but I refuse to look for anybody because every time I do it, it just doesn't work. I can't. She's like, I will look. So I gave her a list of my needs. She went out and she found the people, and then I interviewed them. I picked the first one. Her name was Gladys, bless her heart. She was my first like real hardcore executive assistant. The first day we met, all I did was hand her my email password. I was that exhausted. I said, here's my email password, figure it out. She had my email cleaned up. She started organizing my drives. She was doing everything. I would wake up every morning and she's like, here, Jasmine, your email inbox is clean. Here's what I need some questions to. I'll go ahead and respond. Like, she did everything for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, where have I been my whole life? And I'm going to tell you something else. At the time, I didn't think that it was the right business decision because there were other things that I needed to purchase in my business. Um, but I would do it again. I would do it again because it changed my life. And then I make the joke that I started collecting virtual assistants like Pokemon. And the funny thing is, when we met, I said, I really want a virtual assistant agency because I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is. I've been there, and entrepreneurship is hard, right? Entrepreneurship is hard, but it doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that hard. Um, Hi, Lena Wolf. You just go to blacksunflowerbusinesscollective.com and you can join the collective. And it is okay that you're late. This will remain up, and then it will also be edited, and it will be inside the collective as well. Um, but it doesn't have to be that hard because, unfortunately, we've been taught that you have to do all the things as an entrepreneur, and you don't. And I said, so when I do this, not only I want to do it right, I want to make sure that it's affordable. And so for this whole year, I have been running and operating a virtual assistant agency where most of my friends now have executive assistants. It was pretty, I'll be honest, it was pretty selfish why I did it. Because as my life started to get a little bit easier, I'm looking around at my friends who are busy. I'm like, well, if they're all busy, who am I going to hang out with if they're all busy? So then I started assigning virtual assistants and or executive assistants to my friends, and they're now just like hooked on it. But I mentioned earlier, the biggest problem is I had to cuss them out all the time because no one knew how to delegate. And so I realized I had to step back and start small. And so one of the things I'm doing with my consultations is I'm just seeing where you're at. I'm not here to give people stuff that they don't need, but I'm here to identify things that I feel, or not even feel, I know from experience that you can remove from what you're doing to make your business easier. Um, and down to affordability. Like right now, I have 10 hours. You get 10 hours of help for 169 bucks. You may be thinking, well, I don't know what I can actually get done in 10 hours. Well, if somebody is an expert at something, right? They can get a lot done in 10 hours. A lot. That's from posting your social media, scheduling your social media, commenting on your social media, DMs, your emails, any sort of research that you need done for your business. Everything that I mentioned before, pretty much everything, it can be done by somebody else. And what I'm doing a little different now is I have um, not web designers, that's a whole nother conversation. I have graphic designers. I have social media people. I have all of that, right? Those are included in the hours. So I would normally assign people a virtual assistant, and you'll have that one virtual assistant that you work with. That'll be your person. You build the relationships with them. But then also say, hey, Jasmine, I need some video editing done. Cool. Well, let's use some of those hours and get some videos edited. Maybe you have some shorts. Maybe you took a bunch of content and now you need to chop them up into shorts. That's what they do. And so I'm here to, like I said, really help make everyone's life easier. Even as I sit here and do these videos and as I move throughout the world, my life, my energy has been so much more calm because I'm not running on 100 all the time because I have help. I have an amazing help. I have an amazing team. And I don't know where this discord of I can't have a team until I'm big. If I could do it all over again, from the moment I launched Black Sunflower, I would have started building my team. I would have been so much further ahead. I probably would have kept Black Sunflower going a little bit longer. And I will be honest with you, Nikia, I think she probably left by now. Nikia was an intern over the summer, and she's never made candles before. She's never operated within a small business. She's worked someplace else, but it's definitely a different dynamic that I had. And she caught on. She caught on. She killed it. And if I had Nikia maybe the beginning starting last year, you hear it? Oh, I love that. um, if she started last year, I probably would have kept Black Sunflower going longer now because I would have had all the people and things in place. Um, but when I say Black Sunflower is closing, I've closed more of the retail side of it. Like I said, I still have wholesale people. Yeah, this is an old one. This is one of my old candles that I have here in one of my bigger jars. You guys, I have so many candles laying around. Um, I love that you can hear it. Ah, I stopped using them because they were very inconsistent and they would piss me off all the time. So obviously we've came out of the class part of it and we're into just the conversation part and kind of allowing you guys, do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask? As I mentioned, if you go to the collective and go to the learning tab, and under New Business Playbook, the very first lesson, there is a link for a complimentary consultation, 15-minute consultation. We can just go over where you're at in your business right now and see what next steps you should take, what you should remove, what you should add. Also, make sure you're following me. Make sure you subscribe. In the collective, you'll also see this event schedule every day this week, except for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be 11:30, but it's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every day. I'm going to continue on the series. The next, let me get you guys what the next class is for tomorrow. Do. All right. Ah, this one. This one, your brilliant idea is worthless unless you do this one thing. Something else that I had to do. Something else that I had to do. Huge lesson that I learned. But we all have these amazing, brilliant ideas that we put out there in this world, right? but they're not always so brilliant because we end up being um, our biggest, what's it? Not hurdle. We're in our way. We're in our own way. I'm in the collective. I don't think I'm receiving the notifications anymore. I'll have to update that. Yes. And the collective has also been very quiet. So I will send out an email. I didn't send out email, so I will send out an email and let everyone know. But then if you just go to the events tab at the top inside the collective, it will show that. And my goal is I've scheduled classes for this week. I'm going to be ambitious and I'm going to schedule classes for next week. So I'm going to see how this 11 a.m. time frame. According to my analytics, that says where most people are on. I'm assuming that's when people are at lunch or so. I'm not sure, but that's where it says most people are on. We'll kind of play with the timeline. Maybe we'll do 11 a.m. this week. Maybe we'll do a little bit later next week. But I think this is really going to be a really good series. After that one, we're going to talk about, you don't have a brand, you have a hot mess. That's going to be a good one. You don't have a brand, you have a hot mess. We're going to talk about, is your branding sending the wrong message? So a lot of the little things that we touched on today, where we rated them 1 through 5, you may be good at it, you may not be good at it. But there we go. Did you already discuss conversions here? I'm getting traction to my website, but no one is buying. I didn't talk about that yet. That is something. Do I have a class on that? I don't think so. I think that's just something I've talked about individually. Let's just schedule a session and let's talk about that and let's see. Because like I said, it can be different things. If people aren't even putting something in the cart, it might be a product issue. If people are getting to your website, then obviously it's not a visibility. Your branding might be on point. Maybe it's a value perception issue. There are a couple of different things that it could be. And I just want to make sure I can identify those directly instead of just giving you an answer here, because there can be so many different reasons why that's happening. Hi, hola. So yeah, that's another one. And then the one after that, we have stop underpricing yourself. Okay. Sometimes we have a tendency to underprice ourselves and we just want to get the sale and it feels good to have the sale. But if you really do the math, did you really make any money? This one is near and dear to my heart. Not that I'm underpricing myself, but I'm in beta testing. It's a startup company that I'm building. So we have the business collective. I have separated some elements of the business collective out and am creating, it's not even a new business, it's an extension. I've been calling it Black Sunflowers Rich Auntie. And that's going to be more focused on digital marketing, website development, as well as automation and delegation. And so that's its whole other realm over there. But I've had to underprice myself because when you're building something and you're allowing I need my team to have customers to work and to learn and to grow. And so I've had to underprice myself, unfortunately, in order to get these things in. But as we start to move out of that beta phase, there's definitely going to be some price increases on things. Not necessarily a lot so in the collective. I'm actually going to change the pricing model where before we had the academy, it was a monthly fee. I'm just going to price the courses a la carte, and I may even do it so there's like sections. So maybe you just want to focus on marketing, maybe you just want to focus on finances, so on and so forth. That's a good one. You see so many people say, I'm not spending money for that, right? And that goes back to, is your branding on point? Are you actually reaching your right demographic? You have to take that with a grain of salt, because just if somebody says that's not for me, cool, you're right, it's not for you. But there are people out there that it is for. Right. So yeah, stop perfecting. The other one, day 5, stop perfecting, launch your website. By a good show of emojis, hands, or whatever, who here has been putting off getting their website done? Because I know that's one of the the downfalls, right? One of my first website was amazing. Like Carrie Helston Candles, I used Big Cartel in the beginning, which is the most basic platform you could ever use. But I had really good pictures on there and my website did amazing, right? But before I got that website, I spent a good $2,500 or more for somebody to build something that I realized that I wasn't even able to going to be able to utilize. Um, it's more of stop perfecting. Even if you're building your website, a lot of times we don't get it out there because we need it to be perfect. And I get it. I get the idea of wanting to be perfect, but even down to you don't even have a place for somebody to add themselves to your email list. Like, you're doing yourself a disservice. My website is done and I have repeat customers a small amount. Nice. So the next thing we need to do is figure out how do we get them to continue to come back. Are you using your email list? Are you doing any email marketing? Any sort of affiliate referrals, anything like that? I feel I'm not reaching my target audience. Go ahead and schedule a consultation. Let's run that back real quick. Let's see what's going on. After you schedule the consultation, I'll be sending you just a quick survey so I can get a better idea of your business. Can take a look at your website, things like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I think that'll be good. Then we have day 6. This kind of, I guess, will go into what you just asked over here: how to get customers without begging. How to get customers without begging, because I really feel, especially going through TikTok, that it is just a, oh, buy my this, look at this, especially with TikTok shop. Like, it's a gift and a curse. But no one ever wants to feel like you're begging for customers. And part of that is with being of service, and providing your customers something they need and actually solving a problem. And we'll dive deeper into that. How do you show up and solve? Showing kind of the show up and solve method. And then day 7, I have a 30-day action plan that I'm working on to give you guys. That's going to help you kind of identify the holes in your business that are allowing your business to suck, right? And we're going to figure out how do you move forward in the next 30 days and alleviate some of those things to make sure that you can move forward with a lot less stress and a bit more ease with that. So, yeah, I think that was pretty good for today. I really enjoyed this. I love this format. Now I get to download it and have my editor edit it up so it can go into the collective. Make sure you set your notifications. If you're on Instagram, make sure you follow on YouTube. I'm not sure when, but soon I'm going to stop going live on YouTube and just go live, or on Instagram and go live on YouTube. I'm going to tell you exactly why, because YouTube actually pays me. YouTube pays me for the views. Instagram does not. And if they do, they pay me pennies. We're going to go. You are very welcome. I talk about that as well when we talked about, I think, yes, yesterday we talked about it, the different platforms and which platform to choose. I recommend everyone start a YouTube. Some of you may be thinking, oh my God, I don't know what to talk about. I said, yes, show your hands. If you make something, show your hands making something. Because when everyone's worried about TikTok going away and so on and so forth, YouTube will keep you steady. Yes, it takes a while to get monetized, but if you just stick with it, it will happen. It'll happen. And you got to start somewhere. You are very, very welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope to see you guys the rest of the week. Make sure you share this with somebody that this is your business channel. Awesome. All right. I'm going to come check you out. Definitely. Um, uh what was I gonna say? No, I hope you guys have learned a lot. I hope I see you guys during the week. That's what I was saying. Share this with somebody. If you know somebody who can use some education, some inspiration within their business, go ahead and do that. Make sure you sign up for a 15-minute session. Like I said, as of right now, most of them are with me. As we move into October, more, there will be more with my team, which is still amazing. I'm not doing as much one-on-one coaching because I'm still building a lot of stuff and I'm going to be out doing a lot more speaking engagements, things like that. So I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you so much. And I look forward to hopefully meeting some of you guys very soon in a consultation so we can kind of narrow down some of the things that you have going on. So I'll talk to you guys later and have an amazing, awesome day. And it's going to take me forever to clock out of these. Hold on. Ah, now I messed up. See, you got to leave me be. You're very welcome. Bye, guys.